But now I'm found. Just think of all the folk that have picked cotton from the time they got into this country, even on past when slavery was abolished, even past that day. Green notes represent the money that they make on the back of colored folk. Can't you just see those dollar bills flowing, just hanging there? And the gold that represents the value. Because that's what they make off of this. This is not cotton. It's white gold. Weigh up time when they weigh the cotton and see how much you made for that day. See, the plantation owner, he's got the money in the shoebox. And this scale is a cheater scale. He got it cheated. If you got 200 pounds of cotton, that scale will probably weigh 175. But then we had some ways to cheat too. We used to take and pour water on the cotton and make it heavier, you know. This is leather that I'm dyeing on, and you can't use paint when you're working with leather, doing pictures and wallets and billfolds, because if you use paint, you can't do that. You can't bend it because it'll crack. This is the middle where they walk at. The dark green is where they walk. Maybe they probably wasn't that green, but it kind of brings the cotton out real nice when you make it a darker green than what it really was. We wore a lot of color. That's just the way it was. It seemed to me ever since I can remember, even in the churches and juke joints, cotton fields, everywhere you go, we had a lot of color. And I don't even have enough color here to depict the stuff that we worked, that we wore while we worked. You know, it's tough work. It's no nonsense stuff. And then you ain't making no money. You get 2 cents for every pound that you pick. You know, and I couldn't make but 50 cents. That's all I could pick. And Mama, she make $2. You know, she pick 100 pounds. Sometimes she could pick 150. There ain't no shade. Trees don't grow in the cotton field. And you had those, see, like in the picture, you got those hats, those big straw hats. You had them, you know, but some people didn't want to wear them because you had to pay for them at the commissary. They didn't give those straw hats away. I didn't want to be in the cotton fields. And I would hear the old people in the pool room and in the juke joints and things that I hung up talking about civil rights. And at that time, there was a big movement in the civil rights era. And so I got very, very interested in that. They had this protest in Americus, Georgia. Things got out of hand. And people started shooting at us. And I started running. You know, people were scattering every which way, just running, just trying to save their life, you know. And I ran down through this alley, and there was a car sitting there with the keys in it. And I took that car. I got caught. They didn't ask me, did I want a lawyer? Was I guilty? They just took me before a judge. And he said to me, nigga, I'm gonna give you some time. I'll give you 5 years for larceny an automobile, which is the maximum. He said, I'm gonna give you 2 years for pointing a pistol, and I'm gonna give you 20 for robbery. And they shipped me off to the Reedsville State Penitentiary. 55147, that's my prison number. Like the tag number for this truck, I had a tag number, and that was mine. I was the 55,147th person to go through the door of Reedsville State Penitentiary. And boy, do I thank God for seeing fit for for me to come through that door for a last time. Boy. And walk out a free man. Whew. I am leaning, I'm leaning, leaning on the everlasting arms. When I put a chain gang together, I just try to remember the true scene. I try to put myself back there as a worker and men around me working. That's what I do when I do one of these. I have to have a starting point. I start with him and I get my front row all the way across from side to side. The front row of the people, they are bigger. Then second row a little smaller. Third row a little smaller till you get down to the very end. And I'm trying to make these guys look like who they really were, you know, and I give them features. I give them a big nose or big ears or give them muscles. That's why you see all these guys really got their own character. You know, I might not can remember all these guys' names, but I got their faces. The chain gang is a big part of my life, and I can't get it out of there. Leaning on the everlasting arms. I learned this technique in prison. I was watching this old guy. He was old. He had 3 life sentences. TJ, he made wallets, billfolds, shoulder bags. I stood there just hours after hours of watching them, and something went off in my head that I could do that. After I took the bevel and began to bevel the edges and make them rise, I knew that I had the ability to draw different things on leather. This picture depicts TJ and myself. I'm looking through. Thanks to him, I'm doing this. You know, I probably wouldn't have never got the idea to do this or anything if it hadn't been for him. You know, I kind of wish TJ could see what I'm doing now, you know. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Since I laid my burden down, I'm going home to live with Jesus. Since I laid my burden